If your senses were heightened right now by 30%, your awareness of everything around you would be heightened. Well, awareness is consciousness. And if you're having a greater level of consciousness, then you can't have consciousness without energy.
Welcome to Good Vibes. We are dedicated to raise your vibration to make you inspired and make your day. Before we start, hit the subscribe button and the bell button next to it. As you see, most of you guys that enjoy our videos aren't subscribed. So subscribe and don't miss our new videos. Enjoy the video.
So all of a sudden, these people are having profoundly mystical experiences that are more real than where we're sitting right now. And then if experience enriches the brain, and it does, and experience produces emotions, and it does, the person is having that full-on experience that's inward, that's more real than the betrayal or the trauma than their past. There's an immediate reorganization of the neural architecture. There's a whole new emotional signal that's turning on new genes and turning off old genes. And you could say that in one instant, the past is washed away. And the person comes back to their senses and they say, I don't need my hearing aid. I can hear. The person says, I don't know what that was, but I have no pain in my body. I don't know what that was, but I couldn't feel my feet. But now I can walk and I can feel my feet. My peripheral neuropathy has gone away. And now, what's happening is it's happening in a shorter and shorter amount of time. And we run these week-long events now because after 19 advanced workshops, watching this happen and witnessing all the amazing supernatural changes, I wrote another book called Becoming Supernatural. How common people are doing the uncommon, and it's really based on everything I talked about and the mystical, because you only need one of those mystical experiences and you can't go back to being the same person again. You know too much. And so hormones of stress, I think, arouse the brain and body to create separation. The very chemicals cause us to narrow our focus on the material world. We become materialists and we define reality with our senses because the very chemicals of stress are what cause us to become addicted to certain emotions, and then we start using the problems and conditions in our life to reaffirm our addiction to anger or frustration or impatience or guilt or betrayal. And so people start needing the problems in their life, and the arousal of those chemicals then narrows our focus on matter, and we focus on the particle in quantum physics, and we take away possibility. And so we started to realize that when people go from a narrow focus to an open focus, and when they begin to pay attention to that field, they stay present with it, they experience it, they become more aware of it. Moment by moment by moment, there'll come a moment where all of a sudden they'll begin to connect to it. Now, the hormones of stress create separation. There's me here and there's you there, and there's space and distance between us, and then there's me here, and then there's my future and my dreams way over there. And I got to drag my body through space to get to my dreams, and it's going to take time. And that's the world of Newtonian physics. And the more separation we have between 2 points of consciousness, the more distance we have between 2 points of consciousness, the more time it's going to take for me to get there. If I'm in Mexico City and I say I want to get to Dallas and I'm going to walk, well, I'm going to drag my body through space and it's going to take me a long time to get there. 1 point of consciousness, Mexico City, the other point of consciousness, Dallas. My body moves through space, it takes time. Well, in the quantum, it's kind of opposite, because in this three-dimensional world, there's an infinite amount of space. Space is the commodity, and we experience time moving through space. But in the quantum, there's an infinite amount of time. Time is eternal. And if time is eternal in that realm, imagine if you had all the time in the world. You can get anything done you wanted to, right? Yes. It's only equal to your imagination. And so then, as you as a consciousness, as you go from a somebody to a nobody, as someone to no one, from something to nothing, from somewhere to nowhere, from sometime to no time, and you become pure consciousness, as our students begin to connect to that field, and they begin to pay attention to it and surrender to it and stay present with it and go deeper into it, their consciousness is moving closer to the consciousness of the unified field. And as you begin to move closer and closer to it, the signature of the unified field is oneness and wholeness, which means you experience less separation and you experience more wholeness. And if you feel more whole, you feel like you already have everything you want. And so you're no longer creating from duality or polarity or lack. And as you get closer and closer to that unified field, there's less separation between 2 points of consciousness, then there's less time, which means it starts happening in a shorter amount of time. So we started doing these week-long events because I realized, boy, after 4 days, people are connecting and having these amazing experiences. What would happen if we had them for a week? And that's what we're starting to see now, instantaneous, miraculous changes. And that's where we're at. And they begin to build a model of understanding, firing and wiring, firing and wiring. And as they begin to make their brain fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, they're changing their mind. Mind is the brain in action. So if we keep reminding them of these models and they can explain it, they're installing the neurological hardware in their brain in preparation for the experience. And the more they understand what they're doing and why, the how gets easier. So then, if I can set up the conditions in the environment immediately right afterwards, and nothing's left to conjecture, nothing's left to superstition, nothing's left to dogma. Yes, you understand exactly what you're doing and why. And you give the people the proper instruction, and they feel safe enough to do it. And I have 750 people, or 1,000 people, or 1,500 people, a community of people all doing it at the same time. A certain percentage of those people are going to get their behaviors to match their intentions and their actions equal to their thoughts. And when they do, they're going to have some type of transformation, a change in form. Mm-hmm. Well, if I could measure their transformation, like we did, then I have more information to teach transformation the next time. And if I can measure that transformation, I have more information to teach transformation the next time. So all of a sudden you start closing the gap between knowledge and experience. So there's a momentum when you get a community of people together. And they're not busy on their cell phones or their computers or taking care of their kids. They are focused, and they're focused on creating a new future. And after looking at 8,000 some odd brain scans, I can tell you that you are at your absolute best when you get beyond yourself, period. That is a fact. So you get all of a sudden now people starting to break through. And we start at 6 in the morning, and we go to 6 in the evening or 7 in the evening. Nobody complains. It's fun. And some days we're up at 4 in the morning because that is when the brain chemistry is right for the mystical. And people show up because they want the mystical more than their sleep. Yes. So if we get a community of people doing this, and the first day it's a little bit of a challenge to break past your emotions and your frustration and your habits and all the voices in your head, but if you keep going, all of a sudden there's a momentum. And people just start letting go. And so in 4 days, well, Saturday or Sunday, the energy of the room was off the chart. People were standing up that had all kinds of amazing healings. And I thought, what if we had 3 more days of this? We could move mountains. And so I stopped doing the 4-day advance, stopped doing the measurements because we have tons of data, although we do some measurements here and there, and do the week-longs. And let's just go. And so now in the week-long events, after looking at all the data, I know that you can create heart coherence and brain coherence because I've seen your scan. So then I say, okay, let's do something really supernatural. Let's put people in conditions in the environment that would normally evoke fear, anxiety, normally would evoke exhaustion or some type of limited state. And in that moment, have them begin to, with their eyes open, create heart coherence and brain coherence and begin to make that change. And all of a sudden, people are, in these new week-longs, they're breaking through. The people are starting to wrap their mind around these concepts. And when you start understanding that, the only thing you want is the unknown. In stress, you run from the unknown. When your heart is open, you crave it. It's an adventure. And so people are evolving because of it, and they're doing the work, and we have the evidence to show that common people around the world are doing the uncommon. And it's no longer like, this isn't really, for me, it doesn't really work. It's really like, what is it about me that's not making my way? What is it? What is the emotion? What is the unconscious belief? What is the program? And so, just like an infection spreads amongst the community and creates disease. I believe that health and wellness are as infectious as disease. And when you get a community of people together and they start popping, and that happens, in the last 2 week longs, I called my staff on the stage to witness what I was witnessing, and they were in tears. When you witness that and you see what's possible, you begin to realize that we've all been hypnotized. All of this is to convince us that we're limited human beings, that we need something outside of us to make us feel better inside of us. And man, when you start grabbing onto this concept, that when the moment you start feeling no reason, and you're doing it from inside of you, and you start seeing the effects outside of you, you'll believe you're more of the creator of your life than less of a victim in your life. Because you say to a person, why are you so sad? Why are you so unhappy? They'll say, I'm unhappy because of my ex-husband. I'm unhappy because of the job. And what you're basically saying is that your outer environment is controlling how you think and feel, which means you're a victim. Yes, to your outer environment. But when you're regulating internal states independent of the conditions in your external environment, and your environment starts to shift and change, then you're going to realize that, oh my God, I'm never going to react to that person again, because the moment I do, I just return back to my past. And all of a sudden, people start getting it, and they start spiraling out of their lives into new lives. And it's happening more and more, and it's happening in a shorter amount of time because people are feeling more connected.
I hope you enjoyed this amazing speech by Joe Dispenza and you found what you've been looking for. Before we start with Complete the Quote Challenge, hit the subscribe button and the bell button next to it. As you see, most of you that enjoy my videos aren't subscribed. So subscribe and don't miss my new videos. That will really help us grow, and it's totally free. We are continuing with our daily practice of completing the inspiring quotes. In the previous video we were looking for 2 words of Joe Dispenza's quote. The quote goes like this: keep your mind clear, master the next moment, and ultimately you'll... The correct answer is master yourself. So keep your mind clear. Master the next moment, and ultimately you'll master yourself. Congratulations to everyone with the correct answer. This one wasn't so easy, but since I know you love Dr. Joe Dispenza, today's quote is also from Joe Dispenza. We are looking for 2 words. The quote goes like this: here's my definition of intention. Getting clear on what? Write your answers in the comments below the video and tell me if you love this video and our new way of ending the videos. If you like this video, give your thumbs up and share it with your friends. Even if you're not sure what the correct answer is, try and guess. The first one with the correct answer is the winner. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, and don't miss any of the new videos and new challenges. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day!
Kia lại khiến đôi mắt của em thêm sầu. Vì sao em đi cần để lại lý trí, chẳng để lại anh khi nước mắt còn rơi. Vì giờ em đã vội quên đi bao câu hứa mình còn cho nhau, quên đi bao nỗi đau mình dành. Vì giờ em đã vội quên đi những lời hứa ngày nào. Vì dòng nước mắt em đã vội rơi, anh không nên bay anh như nên vào điên rồi. Anh như say đôi mắt môi, anh như chỉ còn muốn em bên cạnh như ở phố xa rồi. Anh chỉ muốn em cạnh đấy thôi, không muốn em ở bên đời, chỉ muốn em cạnh bên người. Người đã gỡ bước đi xa trong cơn mưa chiều vội vã, người đã bước quên anh khi cơn mưa qua gần vội vã. Em đã quên rồi mai sau đây quá bé, chẳng còn lại gì những người em bao nước mắt rơi. Em khiến con tim như trôi bay trong chiều thu đầy nắng, em khiến con tim như tan vỡ trong chiều thu mát màng. Vì còn nhiều lắm những ngỡ vàng, nhiều lắm những nỗi vội vàng, nhiều lắm những cơn mưa em mưa ta bây giờ đơn vang. Không mai đứng sang nhờ mai em còn đợi đôi mai anh còn người ta xưa ta chúng còn giữ nhau, chẳng để giữ lấy em khi cơn mưa về đến. Và chẳng cần nhau khi anh với em cùng một đêm trôi. Em ơi ta còn gì nữa đâu bằng cơn mưa ngày hôm qua, ta còn lại gì nữa đâu khi